this is all one piece of bubble wrap. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect with this. I bought this guitar over the weekend because this was listed like way too low on Guitar Center and I just couldn't pass it up. In case you couldn't tell, this is a Joe Satriani signature Ibanez. It is a JS100, so not the 1000, but this is still, I mean, this guitar can't be that new. It's from Indonesia, but this to me feels, first of all, this is like a well-played guitar, which is good for a cheap used guitar. You want to have something that you know somebody liked and loved and played the hell out of. Because that means it's probably a good guitar. This physically is in better shape than I was expecting. Like, I thought for the price this might have some more nicks and dings on the body, but it really doesn't. I mean, it has pick scratches, but everything's gonna have pick scratches if it's ever been played. There's no trem arm, and I don't know exactly what Ibanez bridge is on this. So the reason why I ordered this, there's a couple of reasons. One, it was just like $280 on Guitar Center used, which these typically, even for the JS100s, these things go for like $500 used. And secondly, that whole like Satriani live performance where he was playing Made of Tears and just ripped it, just like one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. His guitar had a very similar finish to this. It was this sort of real high gloss black looking, and so it reminded me of that. And the other thing is, I've just gotten that Ibanez Steve Vai Gem Jr. that has made a positive impression on me for Ibanez, so I figured, what the hell, for this price, I mean, you can't, I haven't plugged this in yet, but I mean, let's say it needs wiring work, you still can't touch this price. I mean, you could rewire this whole guitar and you'd still only just bring it up to the market value. I mean, that's the thing about these Guitar Center listings, is like some of them, they're just way too low. I mean, there's no major issues with this for it to be that underpriced. I mean, there's like playware, that's about it. On the back, there's some scuffing, but who cares? It's on the back, and it's not even really bad. I think you'd be hard pressed to see it on this camera anyway. This guitar has pretty good weight to it. I mean, it's heavy in the neck and heavy in the body. I would say that it very slightly, I think the way that the strap holds this, it's going to sit pretty well. If it's just sitting on your lap, it kind of goes headways. I don't know if this is technically an offset, this JS body, but now that I'm actually seeing it and I have it in my hands, this guitar is like, it's ridiculously smooth. Like, every single thing on this is just like, reminds me of one of those like novelty things that you would get that's like a little piece of glass or something. It's just a round blob, kind of reminds me of that, and combined with like roughly a Strat shape. It seems like we've got one push-pull and a three-way switch on this. From shipping, granted it's been like 100 degrees where I live, but from shipping, the butt end strap peg is a little bit stripped, but that's an easy fix. And you know, it's got some rust on some of the hardware, which, I mean, any guitar that I ever touch, even if it's brand new, it's gonna get rust on the hardware, so that's not a complaint in the slightest. This finish is just, I've always loved these things in black, and I usually don't like black guitars, but the way that these reflect, I guess, with all the different, like, with all the rounded sort of contours around this, I think these reflect a lot of light, and you can have a black guitar that just looks shiny and just really cool. I mean, it's really not bad. I think it's cool. Considering I don't have a trem arm, and I've already been contemplating doing this with the Gem, I may just go ahead and hardtail this. I know that might be like tragic for some real hardcore whammy fans, but I really just need one guitar that I can do tricks with, and I don't need multiples because it's still just a pain in the ass to set them up. This is essentially the same type of bridge. You've got the fine tuners going across here. Yeah, if I hardtail this, I'm not going to probably use the fine tuners. Essentially, the screws that actually hold the string anchor are actually ahead of the fine tuners. So compared to like the other Ibanez bridge design and like a traditional Floyd Rose design, normally those would stick out the back underneath the fine tuners. These ones are ahead of them. I don't really know what all that affects as far as like maybe just the form factor a little bit, but other than that, it's one of those double locking systems. I mean, all those are more or less going after the same goal, so it shouldn't be too hard to set that up. Basically, the overall condition of this. Now, to be fair, they listed this in fair condition, which is the worst that Guitar Center can sell something, I believe. And I've only ever bought one guitar in fair condition from them prior to this, and that was my 94 Les Paul, because it had headstock repair. This has no major repairs, and I mean, it just has like basic nicks and dings. I mean, there's one ding up here on the front of it that is not that easy to see. It's like right there. I don't know if you'd even be able to see it, but with normal playing you're never going to see that. On the back, this bottom corner here, there is a paint chip, which it looks to me like this finish is black over red, because there's some red paint showing through there, as well as there's another little paint chip right here at the top by the neck joint that also has a little bit of red paint showing through. So it's interesting that this is like a black over red, and it gives you this super glossy, almost silvery looking black, which I've always thought that is just the coolest look for a black guitar. I mean, those old Satriani videos where he was playing these. It's just such a cool finish. The fine tuners on this bridge are a little bit inconsistent, but that's fine. I mean, I usually unlock the nut and tune if I'm going to play one of these anyway. And like I said, I'm probably going to hardtail this, because then I might actually use it, and I think it's cool as hell. But yeah, this is, I would say this is in good condition, not fair. I mean, there's a couple of really small impressions on the neck, but there's nothing that you'd actually feel. Like, if you're looking at it visually, I guess you can feel it a little bit, but it's nothing bothersome. Totally acceptable as far as I can tell. I mean, yeah, I would say this is in good condition, not fair. I mean, I was expecting this to be a lot more beat up than it was for $280 off Guitar Center. Guys, seriously, probably at least every weekend I go on Guitar Center and just look at used listings, because you'll find stuff like this that I was by no means wanting to buy. I was not in the market for this particular guitar, but when you see this for a price where you could just flip it and make money, it's like, why wouldn't you try that? Yeah, that is just cool. I've always thought these things were cool, but I never thought I would find one for 280 bucks. I mean, that's just stupid. I can't wait to play it, but like I said, even if it has like some kind of major electronic issue, which it shouldn't, but even if it did, you could still fix it for way under what this guitar is actually worth. Which I would do, and I would probably just keep it, because this is cool. This is really cool. So stay tuned for some playing footage of this as I actually get it restrung, because the strings are rusty. See if I can hardtail this bridge and set it up, and we'll go from there. So if you like this video, don't forget to share it and subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you guys next time.